What's up, boys and girls? Caleb Roth with thebookflipper.com here. I want to walk you through my workflow of listing books on Amazon FBA. My business is entirely books, and I will admit my wife does most of the listing now. So I'm a little bit rusty when it comes to listing books, but I want to show you what we do. We've given a lot of thought to our workflow. We've done a lot of different things over the years, from listing with a spreadsheet to using Inventory Lab, to going back to a spreadsheet, and now we actually use a combination of spreadsheets from time to time, but we really prefer AccelerList because it has improved the workflow, and I'm going to show you why, what we like about it, and how we go through that process. So before we start, I want to give you a little bit, kind of show you what our tools are. We've got a Tautronics USB scanner. It's super easy, just plugs right into the computer. And the nice part is when you hold a book under it, the scanner comes on automatically. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but that means it's pretty much a hands-free operation, which is great. So I've got that set up on the left. I've also got a stack of books just to give you some examples of how we do it. So I've got the books here, the scanner. I'm going to make some decisions, do some pricing, and then over here I've got a Dymo 450 Turbo. AccelerList, I believe, only works with Dymos at this point, so if you've got a Zebra, pester those guys until they can add some other scanners, or just go buy a Dymo. They're typically, you can get them on Amazon or Staples for about 50 to 70 bucks, depending on the time of the year. So a little bit about our philosophy. We like to list the books. I want to touch them each once. So I've already pre-scanned my books, whether I come home from a thrift store, a library sale, whether we've done a bulk purchase, whether we've done online arbitrage, whatever it is, I've got my books in a pile. I usually know they're good already. I don't like to do the filtering process through AccelerList. I'd rather have a pile of books that I know are going to be good. And again, I'm going to be scouting with Scout IQ. It is my own product, my own software, so I am a little bit biased, but you should check that out, scoutiq.co. Might as well get a shameless plug in there. So again, I want to touch each book once. That's the philosophy. I'm going to work my way, and again, it looks the opposite on the internet because the screen is reversed. But we're going to work from left to right. So I've got books, scanner, make a decision, put a label on it, put it in a box. Now the key to our workflow is that we're going to do what I call a single box shipment, or a single box method. The benefit that gets us is if you are going to list, let's say 100 books at a time, Amazon is more likely to split up your shipment, which means now you've got to go back through the books a second time after you've already labeled them and break them into shipments, or pay Amazon pretty outrageous fees, in my opinion, an extra fee to actually send them all to the same warehouse, which they're going to then split them up from there anyway and send them to multiple warehouses. So it's going to cost you more money, and it's going to take you more time before your books are put into Amazon. So I do one box at a time. Anytime you're doing batches of typically less than 50 books, which is pretty hard to get 50 books under 50 pounds, especially with a handful of textbooks that can weigh several pounds in a batch. Once you've filled a box, you simply close the batch, upload the feed to Amazon, and your odds of getting split are incredibly low. It does happen occasionally. If that does happen, it's usually because Amazon's playing with their algorithms, and we'll go back in the next day and try again, and usually they won't get split if we wait a day or a couple hours to retry. So if we do one box, we don't have to worry about split shipments usually. We also don't have to worry about box level contents, which can slow you down even further. So again, this works really well. And again, whether we came home from a library sale and we've got a couple hundred books to list and we're going to ship out 30 or 40 boxes of books, or whether we're on the road, or whether we just have a single box of eFLIP books that we're going to just get out the door, this process is exactly the same, which is nice. It's easy to teach other people how to do it, and it's just incredibly simple. So this is the model. We're going to, with that being said, we'll walk you through what it looks like and just give you a couple sample books. So this is AccelerList on the inside. We're going to come in here and we're going to say new batch, and we can just do an online test. Use custom template SKUs. So we like to set up our SKUs this way. It helps us when we go back to reprice and also look at stuff as it's selling. We put the supplier in here. We put the date purchased, so I want to know the month and the year. And then the buy cost is nice to know. Our shipping address, we just included something nice so you guys don't all know where we live. Channel is FBA. Workflow type, there's 3 different workflows here. Bulk is very similar to working with a spreadsheet, or if you use ScanLister, it's very similar to that. Live is kind of the traditional live versus private that you're used to with Inventory Lab. So live, it's actually going to communicate with Amazon, tell you where that book or where that item is getting split out to, and then you can put it in the correct boxes. You can actually do box level contents this way, but again, we found that it just slows us down. We like to use private. It's still going to talk to Amazon. It's still going to print the label as we list it, which I'll show you, and then we're going to throw it in a box from there. And when we're done with one box, the single box method, we're going to then upload the batch to Amazon. Who labels? Merchant, because we're going to save ourselves, I believe, 10 cents a book. So that is the batch, and once we're in AccelerList, we can actually set up some preset information, which we'll show you here, and then after that, we'll be off and running. So we are using the custom Sku template because it's early in October at this point. From this particular supplier, my SKU number is going to start at 1. AccelerList is smart and won't let you reuse a SKU that you've tried to do before. So this is nice. You can start this at 50 if you've already listed 49 books, for example. By cost, we're just going to say they're $1.50 a piece. We'll say supplier is Goodwill. Date purchased, October 5 today. That works fine. Now you can set a standard list price if you want, and this is for speed mode. In this video, I'm going to show you our preferred mode, which is precision mode. So I'm going to X out of here. We're done setting up our options there, and we can change these as we want. Again, I'm going to use precision. I'll come back and do some other videos at a later date and show you some of the other modes, but precision is what I use, and let's just get started. So again, I'm going to take a book off the pile, and again, these are not books that are going into my account, and this particular account is actually a kind of a test or a dummy account, so I don't want you guys figuring out what my account is, and there's some trolls out there, so I think it's important to protect your account at all means necessary. Anyway, you can scan a book. If there's only one book that meets that criteria, it's going to pop right up, so we can see I've got an orange MySQL book or MySQL for some of those that like to talk about developing terms in a fun way. I can see the orange book here in the thumbnail, so I know we're looking at the right book. Again, some of these books may not have Amazon value. I'm just showing these for test cases. So with precision mode, we can actually set up any categories we want, which is pretty cool. I can set this up for books or whatever we want. I'm just going to leave it in the generic all categories. Most of the books I list are going to be very good, good, or acceptable. I don't list anything in new condition, even if it is new, because I don't have receipts from a publisher or invoices from a publisher. And if Amazon or somebody challenged the fact that it's new, I don't try and play that game. For the same reason, I don't really list a lot of books as like new unless they really are pristine. This book is in very good condition. It's got a little bit of kind of shelf wear, but in general, there's no markings or anything else, so this book is pretty good. So again, most of my books are going to be very good or good. We don't tend to list a lot of acceptable books unless they're textbooks or unless they're selling for a high dollar amount. So I'm simply going to click very good. We've got some preset conditions. You can set these up however you like. We like to kind of create a nice description so people know what they're getting rather than the generic may have highlighting or may not. In this case, I'm just simply going to click very good. It pre-fills this auto condition note here, and you can go ahead and change those within AccelerList settings as well. So we've done it in the past where we have like markings, highlighting, coverware, and you can kind of select from a range of none, limited, minimal, moderate, etc. This way is actually what my wife has set up, and so she's smart and we just go with that. So it's very simple. If there is anything else like a library book or water damage, we can simply add these in. You can kind of add descriptions as you go. I'm going to delete that out for this. So the grading is very simple. Again, I don't like to spend a ton of time on it, but if I can help my listing stand out by being accurate, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to finish grading. You can see the SKU is already pre-built here. This prefix, the SKU number, quantity, everything else is set up just fine. I can change things if I need to. Now we can see the data the same way you're used to seeing it from Inventory Lab. We can see all the used prices, the lowest 20 that exist, any FBA prices that exist, new show up on the top, buy box is almost always Amazon, and then we can see what the used conditions are. So in this case, I know that Amazon's probably on the listing for 23 bucks. It's in very good condition for 17. The rank is excellent. So we'll get into pricing videos later, but I'm probably going to match the second lowest prime and just wait my turn and probably be number 2 or 3 when it comes to selling. There are used offers quite a bit cheaper, so I may want to drop that a little bit. And you can simply drop in a price here. It's going to show you your buy cost, your estimated Amazon FBA fees, and then show you your net profit. So this would be a good book. We can sell it for 20, and net profit back in my bank account at the end of the day is roughly $11. So again, I try to talk you through kind of what my thought process is, but again, we'll kind of show you a few other books and show you how fast it is. So I'm going to say add it to batch. It's actually going to be talking to my Amazon account, creating the FNSKU label, and just like that, it's going to print it on the dyno. I can take that label, and again, you're supposed to cover up the FNSKU label. Should be the only thing that's scannable. So we're actually going to cover up the ISBN, and we're going to throw it in a box. So that is book one. Let's go and show you how this process works with several other books. So again, I'm going to scan the book while it's pulling it up. This is a great example. I wish I had planned it, but I'm not that smart. We've got two different books here, both by Seth Godin. Typically the one where the ASIN sort of matches the ISBN or has some numbers is the book you want. There's also a book that has a letter ASIN, which means someone probably added that book later and Amazon hasn't cleaned the listings out. You can see the rank is 2 million versus 5,000. So we're going to grab the 5,000 rank. Again, there's really nothing wrong with this book. It's in great shape. There is a sticker up on there. I usually don't remove those. I'm just going to leave it alone. I could take it off and call it very good if we want. So we're going to say very good, put our very good description snippet in place. Again, it's opted and it knows it's the book number 2, so it's our second SKU. FBA, there's no visible used prime. It doesn't mean they're not there, they're just not returned in the lowest 20 offers. So to get around that, we can simply just go look at all the prime offers on Amazon. So this is pulling up everything, all the offers on Amazon, and I believe only with free shipping. We're going to click the setting here to look at Prime. So Prime, we've got $12.50, $12.95. Amazon's on it for $13.89. So in this particular case, I'm probably going to come in number 2, probably at $12.90, and hopefully someone will save a buck and buy my copy instead of Amazon. So we're going to type $12.90. Again, we can see that there's reasonable net profit on this, even after paying a fictitious amount of $1.50. And in this case, our net profit is close to $5. We're going to add that to the batch, let it talk to Amazon, and our label is going to print here shortly. While that's printing, kind of a way to speed it up, I like to scan the next book in and let it talk to Amazon and figure out where that book is. I'm now going to label this book, throw it in my fictitious box, and now I can start looking through this book. So again, you can see the workflow should take you around a minute per book. Any of you guys know I'm a big Tim Ferriss fan, and it comes in orange, which is great. So it's a win-win. It's a fantastic book. It's actually really just snippets of his podcast. So we found a way to repurpose that in a book. Shh, don't tell anybody. But it's a fun read. Talks about a lot of different categories. So enough of a plug for Tim Ferriss. Again, this particular book has lots of dog-eared pages because I've done a lot of reading. I didn't mark it up at all, but I'm probably just going to call it in good condition. Again, I'm not going to bother smoothing those out. I'm just going to send the book as is, say it's in good shape. I've got two different good characteristics. One is contains light markings and highlighting. And again, if I can stand out from other listings by saying it does have highlighting or does not, I think that helps. So I'm going to click the unmarked snippet here, finish grading. Again, grading should only take you a couple of seconds. Just quickly look through the book, make a decision. Pricing wise, again, we've got Amazon on the listing for 19 bucks, but there's other prices that are probably hidden. So we come in here, look at Prime, and Amazon is actually the lowest Prime offer. So we're going to undercut them by $1 or $2. The rank on this is so good. It's under 500, so it's selling tons of copies a day. So I can get pretty close to Amazon and probably still sell this book. So I'm probably going to come into $18.95. And you can see at $18.95, I'll make $8.50. It is a little bit of a thicker book. Add item to batch, move on. Again, while it's talking to Amazon, I'm getting the next book ready. Pull it up. As it's printing the label, I'm going to scan the next book. While it's talking to Amazon, I'm taking the label, covering up the ISBN barcode, and again, we get to pick. So I can pick a book that doesn't have an image, that's got an ASIN that starts with letters, so that's not good. Or I can pick a book that has an ASIN with numbers, which is probably the right book, and a decent rank. So we're going to pick that book. Again, this book, actually it's in really good shape as well. So we're going to say very good as a snippet, finish grading, come down here. We can't see any used offers again. That doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means they're not visible. So again, we're going to run over to Amazon, make a quick decision. And again, having those links available from AccelerList makes this incredibly good. So here's an example of a book that's probably not worth listing. It is selling consistently. The Keep It chart looks good. I like to price in the lowest 5 prices, so I can ignore these two people that are chasing each other and probably come in here somewhere around $6.88. And let's just plug that number in for kicks and giggles. At $6.88, I'm actually going to make 16 cents, but Amazon's going to put about $1.66 back into my bank account. So if I picked up this book for free, it's going to sell pretty quickly with a rank of 200,000. It's still probably worth sending in, but again, AccelerList helps you make that decision before you possibly make a bad decision. We're going to add the item to batch, and then we'll show you one last book and show you how to close the shipment off. So again, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to talk to Amazon. It just depends on your internet connection, on the load that Amazon servers have at any given day, etc. So again, label your book, scan the next one, and this will be the last one we do. Dave Pelz, or Dave Pelzy as some people call him, is a really good short game guy in golf. These are great books, and this is what I'll be doing over the winter, is studying up on my golf game. This one's got a little bit of marking in it, so again, I'm going to make a quick decision. Good contains light markings. Finish grading. You shouldn't spend a ton of time on grading, but if you can make some nice condition notes, that will help. Again, this book, Amazon, looks like the new buy box is 30 bucks. The lowest used prime, which is usually the used buy box, is 18 bucks. So we're probably going to come in somewhere in there. The rank's good, so in this case, I'm probably going to come in and probably match the lowest used buy box, and again, I can see I'll profit about $7.65 even after paying $1.50 for it. So that's the workflow essentially. And again, I'm going to take the books and I want to work in a nice logical progression. So from left to right, or in your screen right to left, take the book, scan it, make a decision, price it up front. I think pricing up front plays a huge role in helping your book sell quickly. Repricers are great, but usually about 50% of the time there are 0 prime offers visible in the lowest 20, which means if you're trying to simply look at prime offers and make decisions, your repricer is going to be blind to it. And then you can look at other data points that are out there, possibly Amazon's price if they can see it, the lowest used prices, you can kind of do a markup percentage based on that. But I think it makes a lot of sense to list and price up front, and that's our philosophy, and we're sticking to it for now. So as soon as you're done, a couple of things. One, you can complete the batch. It's actually going to upload this to Amazon, create a shipping plan, and we can just do it from there. So it says your feed has been uploaded. Lucky you. Do you want to create the shipment? Sure, why not? It's going to create a shipment, again, talking to Amazon. And again, my philosophy is I'm going to put everything in one box. Usually the shipment doesn't get split. We're going to see if that happens today. We're going to open the Amazon shipping queue and go ahead and look at that. So we'll go ahead and log in here. And you'll see once it loads up, we'll see if it got split or not. So you'll see the most recent shipping plans on top. We only did 5 books. Again, typically I'm going to do a full box, which is you got to stay under 50 pounds. And that is anywhere from 20 textbooks to 30 to 40 regular books. So I'm going to go ahead and work on shipment. I can see they're all going to FTW or Dallas-Fort Worth. It's got the ship from. You can change the address if you need to. You can review and modify units if you need to again, but again, everything should be all set. So I'm going to take this and say, hey, we are going to do, and I don't know why it's not giving me the option here. It's still trying to load. We'll see if we can help it. It's not giving me the normal options of UPS or whatnot. So Amazon might be having some issues right now. Here we go. All right, so we're going to say everything in one box. For whatever reason, I'm not getting Amazon partnered rates. So I don't know if they've got a glitch right now, or maybe because I don't have enough books listed. We'll go ahead and say UPS. Everything in one box. Again, I don't have to do shipping labels. And I've heard some people say you actually don't have to put box dimensions in here. I'm going to, but in general you don't. In this case, I'm just going to make up a box. Let's say it's 45 pounds. I typically use 18 by 12 by 10 inch boxes. We're going to confirm. It's going to give us a shipping rate here real quick. I can print the box labels and pay for shipping here as well once it's done loading. So again, that's AccelerList. While it's talking, I'm going to show you one other thing. I put everything into our tracking spreadsheet, and that's how I'm tracking my source metrics, my cash flow, my income statements, my commission payments, etc. So I'm going to export to the tracking spreadsheet. We're going to do that. I'm going to put the date, usually today's date is when we shipped it. And I'm going to say whatever the shipping cost is from Amazon. So let's see if they've figured that out yet. Amazon must be having some issues today. So typically on a 50-pound box, we're going to pay around 30 to 35 cents. So it's usually about 16 bucks. So I'm just going to say $16 for the shipping cost. I'm going to export this to the tracking spreadsheet, which will actually, if you use Chrome, put it right down here. And now I can simply copy, paste this data into the tracking spreadsheet. And now I've got all my metrics in one place. So that's our workflow. Again, I'm an extreme believer in the one box workflow or single box workflow, and where you're going to touch each book exactly once. And that works for us. And again, you should be able to list books about 1 a minute or 50 to 60 in an hour. And usually we'll set up a computer and a TV and watch some Netflix in the background, and it's not a bad way to spend an afternoon listing books on Amazon. So that's all we've got. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and post those below in the YouTube video. And if you'd like a free 14-day trial of AccelerList, you can sign up. I've got an affiliate link there as well. And if you would like to help support the channel, I'd be very appreciative of that. So again, check out the links down below. Check out AccelerList. It's $29 a month as compared to Inventory Lab, which is $49 a month. You're going to be saving some serious coin. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.